Christopher Bell capped off a wild night of competition highlighted with numerous tire wear managements, caution periods, and shuffling within the leaderboard by scoring a thrilling NASCAR Cup Series victory in the Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday, September 13th. Bell's Bristol victory occurred at a time where the 2025 Cup Series playoffs completed its first round, the round of 16, that eliminated 4 playoff competitors, not including Bell, out of championship contention. Greetings, race fans and motorsports enthusiasts around the world. My name is Andrew Kim, and this is Retro Motor Vibes, where I highlight anniversary stories and break down motorsports events near and far. For today's audio episode, here's a full breakdown of the 2025 Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway, a 0.533-mile oval-shaped short track venue in Bristol, Tennessee. Without further ado, let's break the event down. The event's starting lineup was determined through an on-track qualifying session, which involved each of the 39 competitors entered to compete in the event, cycling around Bristol twice through a single round and to post the fastest lap amongst one another. This session occurred on Friday, September 12th. At the conclusion of Friday's qualifying session, a non-playoff contender spoiled the party for the first time this year as veteran driver A.J. Allmendinger, a 3-time Cup Series race winner, claimed the pole position with a pole-winning lap at 126.930 miles per hour in 15.117 seconds. The pole award was Allmendinger's 5th of his Cup career, his first since he achieved his previous pole at Watkins Glen International in 2015, and he became the first non-playoff competitor to notch the pole for the iconic Bristol night race feature since Eric Almirola made the previous achievement in 2022. Allmendinger shared the front row with Ryan Blaney, the highest starting playoff contender, and who posted the fastest qualifying lap at 126.905 miles per hour in 15.120 seconds. The event's first stage period spanned the first 125 laps of the event. During the first stage period, there were 7 lead changes for 4 different leaders and 2 occurrences of cautions for 21 laps. The first caution occurred on lap 81 when playoff contender Josh Berry retired at the tail end of the field for a 3rd consecutive event, this time due to having smoke and fire billowing beneath from his entry's right front area that forced Berry to exit his entry upon parking it in his pit stall. The second caution occurred on lap 100 when Alex Bowman, another playoff contender, spun in turn 2 amid contact with rookie Riley Herbst. Amid the cautions, a bigger theme arose throughout the first stage period and would span for the duration of the event overall. Tire management, as Goodyear tires debuted right-side tires that were soft and placed a heavy emphasis towards tire wear and variations of pit strategy. Right from the start, Allmendinger, who led the first 23 laps from pole position, lost the lead to Ty Gibbs, and he was among the first of select competitors to pit under green flag conditions due to his tires wearing out quickly. The entire field would pit at various times throughout the first stage period to have the worn tires swapped for new ones, but the tires forced all competitors to race at a reduced pace to strategically manage and preserve their tires to their stage's conclusion. At the front of the field, Ty Gibbs led the most laps throughout the first stage period at 69, but in the end, Ryan Blaney took advantage of having fresher tires than Gibbs, while Gibbs was also getting stalled behind lap traffic to overtake him on the penultimate lap of the stage. He then edged Gibbs for a final lap to capture the first stage victory, which marked his 7th Cup stage victory of the 2025 season. The second stage period spanned 114 laps, starting from lap 137 to lap 250, the halfway mark. This stage period featured 10 lead changes for 6 leaders, and it also featured 2 cautions but for 16 laps. Both of the cautions involved playoff rookie competitor Shane Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen was just able to avoid being involved in a multi-car wreck on the front stretch on lap 147, despite getting barely hit by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that instigated the wreck and involved Michael McDowell and Eric Jones. Van Gisbergen, though, was unable to dodge an incident on lap 238 after he got bumped and sent for a spin through turns 3 and 4 by playoff contender William Byron. As the field continued to manage through the tire wear by pitting at various points, Ty Gibbs continued to flex his on-track muscles at the front of the field by leading the most laps throughout the second stage period at 86. And compared to the previous stage, Gibbs was able to hold off Blaney during a 4-lap shootout to capture what would be his first Cup stage victory of the 2025 season. The event's third and final stage period spanned 236 laps, from lap 265 to 500. This stage featured 18 lead changes for 9 leaders and 8 cautions for 75 laps. The stage's first 3 cautions, which occurred on laps 269, 282, and 294, involved Ty Dillon bumping and sending Van Gisbergen, Cole Custer, and Noah Gragson respectively in incidents. More on-track incidents ensued, starting on lap 310 as Chase Elliott had his playoff hopes jeopardized when he was bumped and sent head-on into the outside wall in turn 3 by John Hunter Nemechek. Then on lap 354, Bubba Wallace, who raced up front throughout the event before he started to fade on his worn tires, sent Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for a spin in turn 1. This occurred as Wallace was trying to maintain grip of his entry and signal to the field of his intentions to pit under green flag conditions. On lap 364, Kyle Larson, who rallied from speeding on pit road earlier, spun below the track in turn 4 as he was trying to enter his pit stall. Larson's incident, which drew a caution, occurred as he had been involved in an earlier on-track incident with Daniel Suarez that broke the right rear area of Larson's entry. During Larson's incident, Denny Hamlin experienced issues as he drifted up the track and made contact with the outside wall. Despite pitting for repairs and fresh tires, Hamlin's event went from bad to worse when he drew the next caution on lap 383 due to blowing a right front tire entering turn 3. The flat tire caused Hamlin to drift up and clip Allmendinger, which as a result detached the entire right front wheel off from Hamlin's entry, as William Byron was also involved in the incident. Meanwhile, as various pit strategies amongst the field continued to occur, with tire preservation coming to mind, Ty Gibbs and teammate Chase Briscoe dominated the final stage period, with the latter leading the most laps at 127. During a late cycle of green flag pit stops with 66 laps remaining, Gibbs, who was bidding for his first career victory in his 116th start, made a costly on-track error by locking up his front tires and missing the entrance to pit road while Briscoe made it. The error forced Gibbs to cycle around Bristol an extra lap before he pitted, but the damage was done as he lost ground to the lead. And just when Brad Keselowski, who held a late lead amid a flurry of competitors and frontrunners pitting due to tire wear issues, had a potential victory within sight, he drew a late race caution with 12 laps remaining when he bumped Cole Custer into Bubba Wallace that sent Wallace hitting the outside wall in turn 3. This resulted with Keselowski being among several frontrunners pitting, while select few led by young guns Carson Hocevar and Zane Smith opted to remain on the track with their worn tires. During a 4-lap dash to the finish, Christopher Bell used his 4 fresh tires to dispatch both Hocevar and Smith through the first 2 turns, but he had Keselowski reeling him in as the laps dwindled. On the final lap, Keselowski attempted to execute the infamous bump and run move on Bell due to the final turn, but Keselowski's hard bump to the rear end of Bell's entry did not cause Bell to hesitate. Instead, Bell was able to keep his entry straight and zip through the start-finish line on the front stretch to score the victory over Keselowski. With the victory, Bell notched his 13th career win in the NASCAR Cup Series division, his second at Bristol, his 4th of the 2025 season, and his first since he won at Phoenix Raceway in March and made a 3-race consecutive winning streak. The victory was the 11th of the year for Joe Gibbs Racing and the 12th for the Toyota nameplate. By winning the 3rd and final round of 16 event at Bristol, Bell punched his ticket to the round of 12 as he continues his pursuit for his first Cup Series championship. Here are the race results of the 2025 Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway. The drivers highlighted in bold indicate that they are playoff competitors. In addition, the competitors highlighted with 1 asterisk indicate that they recorded stage points in at least one of the event's first 2 stages, while the drivers with 2 indicate that they recorded points in both stages. Notably, Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar, both of whom elected to remain on the track on worn tires, settled in 3rd and 8th respectively, while Corey Heim, a full-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series competitor who is also a development driver for 2311 Racing, earned his first top 10 career result in 6th place. Ty Gibbs, who led a race-high 201 laps, ended up in 10th place behind teammate Chase Briscoe following his late pit road error. While 5 of 16 playoff competitors finished in the top 10 overall, 8, including Shane Van Gisbergen, Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, and Josh Berry, finished outside the top 25 in the running order. Next, here is the 2025 Cup Series playoff standings following the 3rd postseason event. With the Bristol event serving as the 3rd and final event of the playoffs round of 16, the standings shown on the screen feature the top 12 playoff competitors who advanced and how they are ranked proceeding to the round of 12, but also they include the bottom 4 competitors who are automatically and officially eliminated from playoff contention, in which case it included Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Josh Berry. And while their 2025 season does not end, as they have still 7 scheduled events remaining to contend for 4 race victories and climb as high as 5th place in the standings, their championship hopes have been on hold until the 2026 season commences. Overall, the 2025 Bass Pro Shops night race at Bristol Motor Speedway featured 36 lead changes for 14 leaders and 14 cautions for 137 laps. From the field of 39 starters, 33 finished the event overall, while only 14 finished on the lead lap. Christopher Bell's Cup Series victory on Saturday capped off an eventful quadruple header weekend at Bristol. The action commenced on Thursday with a doubleheader feature that involved the ARCA Menard Series East Division and the Craftsman Truck Series Division. During the ARCA East event, which was also the series season finale event of the year, Brent Cruz clinched the 4th consecutive Owners' Championship for Joe Gibbs Racing with his 3rd race victory of the 2025 season. Meanwhile, rookie Isaac Kitzmiller claimed the Drivers' Championship by 17 points over Tyler Reef. Hours later, Lane Riggs rallied from spinning on the first lap to lead the final 110 laps and win the truck playoff event at Bristol, which enabled him to transfer on to the round of 8. Then on Friday, veteran Eric Almirola commenced the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs by being the spoiler of the event and winning both for the first time ever and as a non-playoff contender. Almirola's victory, which was his 2nd of the 2025 season and the 9th of his career amid a part-time campaign with Joe Gibbs Racing, occurred as he opted to not pit in the closing stages and lead the final 34 laps before winning in front of 6 playoff contenders. Next weekend, the NASCAR Xfinity Series enters an off-weekend period but will return to action at Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas for the Kansas Lottery 300 on September 27th. The Craftsman Truck Series returns next weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on September 20th for the EJP 175 as the series prepares for its first round of playoff eliminations from the round of 10. The event's broadcast time commences at noon Eastern Standard Time on FS1, NASCAR Racing Network, and SiriusXM. The Cup Series round of 12 to the playoffs commences the following date, September 21st, for the Mobil 1 301 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. This event's broadcast time commences at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on USA Network, PRN Radio, SiriusXM, and HBO Max. That's all for this episode. Have a great rest of your day and see you on the next episode of Retro Motor Vibes.